Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. I'm your host, Jared Sebesta of Tejas Financial Group, where we build purposeful retirement plans. At Tejas Financial Group, we believe retirement planning is so much more than just preparing financially. Our goal is to help retirees and pre-retirees steward their time, talent, and treasure. We have the tools and proven process to make sure your retirement plan delivers the greatest purpose, impact, and legacy. If you need help building a purposeful retirement plan specific for your life and your retirement, give us a call. Our number is 222-4236. You can request a meeting online at tejasfinancial.com. And if you are in the neighborhood, just stop by our office. We're located right on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer, building purposeful retirement plans. Well, happy day, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day here so far. Last week, we talked about some key financial planning ages, and we did this because it was Ben Tejas' birthday, and I won't disclose his age, but we talked about specific ages ranging from 50 all the way up to about 73 years old. We talked about ways to do catch-up contributions. We talked about some changes to RMDs and everything in between. If you missed that show, I encourage you to go back and check it out, and you can do that a number of ways. You can find us all over the place. First of all of our shows are listed in the archives on our website, tejasfinancial.com. You can go to YouTube. All of our shows are posted to YouTube. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. Go to youtube.com and search Tejas Financial Group. You'll find all the playlists there. And finally, we are on iTunes. So if you're into podcasting and you're on iTunes already, search Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. You can find our show there. And again, you can see all the archives, but make sure you listen to last week's show, especially if you're in that approaching 50 all the way through retirement age. It's going to break down all the key financial ages that apply to your life and your retirement. Ben Tejas joins me on the show here today. I hope you had first of all, a great week and a great birthday. Welcome back.
Yeah, no, when you say welcome back, it sounds as if I was gone all week. I wasn't, Jared. I was working, and even on my birthday, as you remember. So, but no, I'm sure you're saying welcome back to the show.
Right.
Correct?
That's what I meant.
Okay,
yeah.
Just to be clear. Good.
All right, so we're getting closer and closer to summer, actually feeling and looking like spring here in Minnesota. So just give us kind of a little rundown, a synopsis of kind of your feelings and what you've seen here the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Jared, I think whenever we're looking at summer, I mean, everybody looks at traveling, and I think one of the things that has been somewhat helpful is seeing the inflation numbers tick down a little bit. But I've had some conversations with people lately that they say it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like things are cheaper because they're looking at kind of the last things to fall, or the things that were impacted so much by those incredibly high transportation costs and fuel and energy, which that side has come down, but it takes a while, if indeed inflation is coming back to earth, for those things that are so impacted by that to kind of trickle out into dropping with what we see on the actual inflation numbers. So the inflation numbers that was posted was consumer prices were 4.9% year over year. So that's 10 consecutive months that we've seen a decline. And again, what I'm hearing is it doesn't feel like that. So if you're a consumer, you're still feeling really higher costs. You're seeing things from bread to eggs to everything else. And when you look at the charts and you look at which items are actually inflated really high, you'll see some of that stuff is the stuff that we do spend a lot on, every single day. So it's going to take some time, and we don't know, again, where inflation's headed, but that's the big deal with the Fed trying to raise rates over the last, really aggressively over the last year and a half. And, but personally, I don't even try to predict anything going forward. I just look at this and say, here's the situation we're in. Interest rates are very, very high compared to where they've been in the last, 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah. So
knowing that, you've got to be positioning yourself in a place where your cash is working for you. Because in the past, that's a conversation I have almost every meeting now. It's how much cash do you have? Jared, there's two reasons I ask that question. The one is what we're talking about today. It's cash is now, for the first time in many years, actually creating a rate of return. Liquid cash is now something, hey, you can put it in a short-term money market fund, you can put it in a treasury, you can put it in a number of different options and talk to your advisor about that. But certainly it's no longer a situation where you just want to let your cash sit in a checking account doing nothing.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how interest rates really allow different options for cash. What's kind of the other thing you've told clients to do?
Yeah, so outside of just the rate of return that people can expect to get on cash now, if it's used and positioned into some other, fixed income strategy, it really comes down to that question around how much cash do you have? When I see a client, and remember, we deal with so many retirees here, but when I see a client who over time, you ask them that question, how much cash are you sitting on? And it's $30,000. And then the next time it's how much cash you're sitting on? It's $50,000, and that's $100,000. That's telling me something about the way they look at money. It's telling me that they've been conditioned over their entire life to be a saver. And that's one of the things that many retirees today do is they simply save. They save. And even when they're in retirement, they've been conditioned to do that. So while that can be okay, Jared, I think many times I ask them, well, what are you saving it for? Why do you continue to build up cash? Why do you continue to do that? And if their goal is not to, pass away someday with a bunch of money, right, a bunch of cash that goes to either kids or charities, if that's not their goal and they indeed wanted to save their money so that they could spend it someday, I think they need to be utilizing that cash, not only getting a higher rate of return for it, right, but spending it. I think that comes down to, again, helping people see if you don't spend your money, your kids will. And if you don't spend your money on experiences and giving to charity and all those things that you kind of thought you were going to do someday, sometimes someday doesn't come. So I think that's the other piece of cash that I always want to remind clients is not only should you be getting a higher rate of return on it if it's just sitting and checking, move it out, do something different. Or secondly, watch that cash balance, because sometimes we continue to save and save and save and save even into our retirement years.
You bring up a really good point, and that's really the mindset on spending in retirement, and that's a lot of the work we do that maybe doesn't get a lot of attention in our field of business.
No, I mean, people even question me like, you're talking about retirees to get a budget? Well, the reason I'm doing that is not so they can save, it's so that they can spend, so they can feel really comfortable with their plan, that they know each dollar that's coming in, I've got a dedicated place for that. I'm in better control of the monies that are coming into me. So when we help clients, it has to be, yes, there's financial strategies that we're working through every single day with clients. We're using all of the tools and techniques that are available to us, but we're also, Jared, helping them see things differently. This show is called Time, Talent, Treasure. Right? There's so much more to being an advisor than just reviewing a portfolio, than just reviewing, somebody's investments. It comes down to also helping them see, right, how they're looking at life. And that comes back to how are they spending their money.
That's right.
Simple cash flow planning and making sure they're making the most out of their time, talent, and treasure.
Well, thank you so much, Ben. Well, if you are ready to begin building a purposeful retirement plan that will best steward your time, your talent, and your treasure, now is the time, and we can help. We have a number of ways you can set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting. First, you can give us a call at 320-222-4236. You can go to our website, tagesfinancial.com, and click on Request a Meeting. Or if you live in West Central Minnesota and are in the neighborhood, just stop by our office. We're open Monday through Friday, office hours 8:30 to 4:30. I'm Jared Sebesta, joining you on this episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Securities offered through Avantax Investment Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Avantax Advisory Services. Insurance services offered through an Avantax affiliated insurance agency.